Okay, we're live, I think. Yay. And we have nobody watching. That's okay. I did it! Woohoo! Figured out the internet!
Are in the way of the TV now?
It's okay. They totally can see that giant TV behind your head. Only thing they might not be able to see is the time. You're cool.
I need to know what time it is.
Time is it, Shay?
You'll have to tell us every time something is.
So we can have people sign up for when they want to go. How many we have? 9?
I checked the page, it looked like 6 were confirmed to come.
See when it's good.
Maybe 9
It's becoming a habit now. Every Sunday I ask for the week.
I don't even know everyone's games. I might know the people who have been coming to the meetings.
Okay, Shay, looks like you're set up. And you're doing, which you have bubbles and what's the name of yours? Which one are you showing first, Shay?
Whatever. Mine. My main one. Interaction. It's called. Or do you want to start with the museum? You want to start with that?
We'll start 0.
That's cool.
And then Shay, you have another one.
Bubbles.
Is interaction the bigger one?
Do you want to go after Shay?
Sure.
It might just be you and Shay. Hopefully people start showing up.
So Dustin said he's looking for the building. Tim asked if we're at Great now or 110 and said he'll be here in 30 minutes.
Alright, why am I writing back? I'm gonna go get my eraser. Who's gonna be here in 30 minutes?
Tim.
Oh. He's outside, Dustin's outside.
I just thought, yeah. Or you want to say one more? Oh.
I didn't really think about how we want to present. Do you want, like, both of us present the game?
I will let you present as much as you want,
Okay.
because you're pretty much putting it together.
Alright.
I'm here to talk as little as possible.
Okay.
So whatever you want, but if you need my help, I'm here too. I'm gonna have to talk about the museum. So shadow play. Hey. I am streaming live on YouTube and we are about to present. Yeah. That would be never, that will never happen. Anyway. Alright. Yeah, I'll give you a call later. Bye. So sort of creepy. Like I'm back here and I was looking at that and it's a little laggy. Like the video that's actually going through, I'm like, Shay's not going behind the TV, he's already sitting.
Watching the very recent.
Great, Dustin. I made it. You made it. Easy, number 4. You don't have another game, do you, Zach? That you're presenting? You don't have another game, do you? Okay, Dustin. What are you presenting?
Toy Room
What are you-
is the best title I can come up with.
Sometimes it is.
Still not the TV.
Huh?
Still not coming out of the TV. Try restarting.
The audio?
I think sometimes the Uni, it gets a device when it starts and it just holds on to that.
So we have plugs if you want to plug in your computer.
Yes.
And there is an HDMI cable. And if you don't want to do that, or you can try to see if your computer's compatible with the
Might be, might
remote.
require Windows 10 or something.
I think so. Maybe it's 8.1 or later, but
Or Windows 8.
yeah,
I have Windows 7.
it's 8.1 or later. Should have it in it from what I was reading on, but it may not.
Do we have more people confirmed coming? We're not sure.
Tomorrow here.
Oh.
I guess I could go get it.
Yeah, I thought I was in the wrong place because I saw the bank
Yeah.
in front.
Yeah,
I was like, this can't be it.
yeah, no, another plug. There's a plug there if you need it. Yeah, they're gonna be renting out that space later, so. Let's see if we've got any, people watching. Oh, we got a watcher! Good. Who's watching? Two seven oh. I don't know who that is.
Oh, that was probably me. 268-1459. Yeah.
Should probably add you.
Gosh, can't type.
Yeah, unfortunately, the notifications for Slack are a little laggy sometimes. Yay, people!
What's going on?
We have one watcher.
I see people are in there too.
Yep, some people are in their offices. So,
Okay.
it's
Kind of
fine.
expounds on your own. Oh, yeah, there we go. I guess most graphics go. Sound effects, he's so fancy. Very business. Hope this works.
It's right in the middle, within 3 feet of the front, of it and hold the remote control upside down. Got it. Still want these chairs.
Yeah.
You named it?
I got no Jesus on it.
Okay, so we have Shay going first, Zach going second, Dustin going third. Who's next?
Well, I've got two projects, so I'd like to have someone go in between my two projects. So
I'm doing all that.
Are you sure?
I got 3 things I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about the museum part first, and then Shay is doing interaction bubbles. It's easier to set up once, but if you really
Yeah, I'll
want
have to go after you.
so you want to just talk about both projects at once and demo them both at once?
if you don't mind.
Okay. What? Did you say it before me or after?
Do you want
Sure.
to? Okay. So we'll let Bill go before you, and then you can do 2. What's the name of yours, Bill?
L5. L5, the letter L, 5.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Chris?
Yemen's Tale. Yemen is like the country Yemen, except with 2 N's. And also Soulmates, and it's S-O-L, like the name of our son. Revamped mode.
Soulmates. Okay, and it's a tale as a tale.
Yeah, like a story, no, it's not fun. Not like some of those furry games, which I like.
Christina.
Which you like. There's a spas. Literally. You gotta say yas to the spas.
2 A's.
No, instead of space, spas. Just
Space.
S, P, and A are all capitalized.
Yeah.
And C, E are not. I know spas. It sounds really weird.
Yeah.
Spas girls.
And then
Suppositories.
do you have the
Where's Tim?
Tim?
Kim says, come on, buddy.
Tim. It will be
Those
Tim.
are problem.
And there's Leonard too.
Leonard, I asked if he's awake, I haven't responded yet.
Oh, no, he's even better on driving.
And Tim's is,
Paper cranes or something like that. It's
I forget what it's called.
I had it on that board that
At
was
your
shared.
wrist. Leonard's also on there.
10. Leonard. Don't mind me. I can totally spell. Okay.
I still want to be changing the name. One time I thought it was called Fluffy Water or something like that.
Oh yeah, fluffy water.
It's still the same project, I'll make a change in the name.
It is.
We are live, FYI, live streaming. We have one watching.
Not you.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Yeah.
I think it's my uncle.
So Tim and Leonard are coming, but they're gonna be pretty late.
Tim said half an hour. Okay, 15 minutes. Leonard, he said he's driving.
So
Thanks for catching all this.
let's go ahead and let people know.
Yeah, some of those.
I looked at me.
Thanks for attention.
Thanks for catching.
There's several that I wanted to do on stars, but I like a different art style than we can screw.
That's the slowest computer I've ever seen. Can't run a 15 kilobyte document. Okay, so just one potential. I was focusing too much on the mirror, so it's the printing cells. I wish you might draw these creatures. I was thinking all that was going to hit its earth. Maybe creatures also have souls too. Okay. So it's not just printing in humanoids. You can also do like ethereal creatures as well. Because I know you like to do creatures, so we could do like you collaborate both on creatures that would be alive on that planet. Because I hadn't really thought about that, and I think that'd be kind of cool. And then from there, you could create the ethereal versions of the creatures we come up with. They would be just humanoids floating around. Would be interesting. Yeah. Be all sorts of stuff. Makes sense. Yeah, definitely. I didn't think about that. Right. So I'm operating on your angelic singing. So get this, instead of a bubble hive, you have an audio hive. And it's based on how many souls you have. So let's say you absorb the first soul. It would be actually one of us going, oh. So you have one, and it's low, and you hear that, and it's not annoying. You absorb a second soul, you hear a second octave, you hear a second person going, oh, and it overlaps. And at a certain decibel, that's when you're going to be able to create a purified soul. And it's all based on audio. And I don't hear about any audio. I think that'd be really souls you have. So let's say you absorb the first soul, and it would be actually one of us going, oh. So you have one, and it's low, and you hear that, and it's not annoying. You absorb the second soul, you hear a second.
I think I hear somebody at the.
One soul, and it overlaps. And at a certain decibel, that's when you're going to be able to create a purified soul. It's all based on audio. So you get down here, audio.
I'm not sure how they went up these stairs.
So you have, so let's say you absorb the first soul, and it would be actually one of us going, oh. So you have one, and it's low.
Yeah, well, I
Hear that, it's not annoying. You absorb the second soul, you hear a second.
I think I hear somebody at the.
One soul, and at a certain decibel, that's when you're going to be able to create a purified soul. It's all based on audio. So you get down here, audio.
Hey, what's going on?
So I
10 to letter both, yay! How they went up these stairs.
So you have, so let's say you absorb the first soul, and it would be actually one of us going, oh. So you have one, and it's low.
yeah, well, I
Hear that, it's not annoying. You absorb the second soul, you hear a second.
I think I hear somebody at the. Yeah, you can grab my chair.
One soul, and at a certain decibel, that's when you're going to be able to create a purified soul. It's all based on audio. So you get down here, audio.
Hey, what's going on?
So I
10 to letter both, yay! How they went up these stairs.
So you have, so let's say you absorb the first soul, and it would be actually one of us going, oh. So you have one, and it's low.
yeah, well, I
Hear that, it's not annoying. You absorb the second soul, you hear a second.
I think I hear somebody at the. Yeah, you can grab my chair. Now we're all here,
What's going on?
and I shared this with you. You're alive. Right now we only have one viewer, and take it back a little. Anyway, so, yeah, you can grab my chair, first of all, now we're all here, and I shared this with you. Right now we only have one viewer, take it back a little.
Yeah, you can pretty much your
They all things sort of on this little beach. They all things sort of on this little beach. They all things sort of on this little They all things sort of on this little Yeah. Oh yeah. So your little. Yeah. Oh yeah. So your little. Yeah. Oh yeah. So your little.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
So, oh wait, so, okay, so it's just the hue? Or
Like
is it brightness?
Like
the posterized effect.
posterized, you know.
Like-
So basically, it's the number of colors that are actually in the image. So like, a whole bunch of different shades of red just become like one shade of red.
Right. Fully cool.
And actually, if you go. Go to extreme, like,
Oh, yeah.
just goes off like nothing.
Right. Oh, okay.
Slowly reduces the number of colors until you're like red and black, and then eventually black. That's sort of breaking actually, going past the one.
Sure. Awesome. Cool.
And it's sort of more obvious with things that are already. Next one. So this one basically just like in the middle of water, there's little bubbles that float in. And click on the pop and make music. And so one of the things we'll just play with the look of it a little bit, the bubbles and stuff a little bit, make them come nicer. And then also the sounds, maybe get more sounds. But then big thing left to do is I want to make the generation of the bubbles smarter and do things like a nice like chord come up all together. So like make it easy to like play something more interesting sounding.
You also designed it, like, are the bubbles consistent sizes as well as colors so that a colorblind person can play it?
It's probably not that obvious right now, at least. But, yeah, so right now the color corresponds to a note. You can sort of do both the same. So you could theoretically sort of figure out, like, actually know what you're hitting before you hit it. So you can like try to play a certain music. And then they're also the same size. The size is also depending on what note they are. But it's a little hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, it's easier when they're all at the same
They're
level.
all sort of different distances. It
Yeah.
might be easier in VR. They're also different distances from you. It's still hard to tell exactly what size they are. It's also, I think, not a very big variation between like one note to the next. The colors are also slightly similar. Some.
What if you had them like bouncing off the ceiling back down to you or something like that? Would that be too confusing or?
No, well, also, yeah, I'm also going to play with. Once I get like this sort of, like I said, it sort of makes it smarter how what notes it generates and stuff. Another thing would be also provide like where they are, how fast they move. Another thing talked about a little bit was have them just be mostly in front of you, not have something generating like a full circle around you. So you don't have to like constantly
Yeah,
turning
give it
around.
An
Just sort
arc,
of look,
yeah.
sort of in front of
And,
you.
and if they do turn around, it'll generate them where
So
you're
we were-
looking, not just in one spot, right?
Yeah.
So it's look sensitive.
Might maybe use that script for a game.
Right now, I think
They
there's
just-
like a max number it will have in the world, so like, and they never die. So eventually, they put it up really high, and you're getting.
Really had to go on for the amount, the duration each game should take. 9 minutes.
You want to spawn continuously though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do spawn.
And there'd be like, so like I said, like entire nice chords or something, all together, and they would also, when there's ones that are nice to play together, they'd also be closer together. Because some of these are a little slow to try to play several in a row.
I like your idea though, maybe a string kind of connecting some of the vocals, that'll make it interesting melody.
Yeah.
Just use a line record.
Probably like, but you just have to be like,
An actual
usually
string.
connect, like they just be all, they'd all be close together.
Yeah.
How about,
And then you would clearly have, like, you'd have like several close together, like, or nicely played together.
Right.
And you probably want to,
A little farther away, you'd have, like several really close to each other that also play nice together. So it'd be clear.
I have something, an idea for the colorblindness thing.
Um,
Have the bubbles transparent and then have like a letter of the alphabet,
Yeah.
C, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
It almost seems too easy though.
Yeah.
I want you to have to like, sort of the idea was like you have to actually like
play.
pop some bubbles to figure out.
Well, then just
what
use
note they are?
just do different symbols then, like.
Yeah.
smiley
Yeah,
faces or-
You can do a fish and
I
some of
wouldn't
them,
want- I don't
or
know
maybe
if I would
a
actually-
cat, like a little cat head bubble.
I don't know if I want to tell you actually what note they are. Right? So,
Remember Mario Paint? That's what it sounded like. The different symbols would be different sound effects. You can make a song based on different,
Sounds good.
like a cat head would make a meow, and you got a meow or meow.
Oh, okay, now we're getting on a whole
You can do
nother
all
level.
sorts of-
This one was supposed to be simple.
I guess the goal for next one is just to get the generation better.
We'll work on finding you a good particle for the bubble. Because the one that you got looks like a moon. It looks like a moon.
Well, you mean when it's a bubble?
Yeah.
We said particle. I was thinking the particle effect. would pop.
No, like the
It's
actual.
not a particle really. It's a sphere with a texture.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, maybe that's why it's not showing up.
Zach made a bubble texture in like 5 seconds the other day if you need it.
But it doesn't have as much texture as you.
No, it doesn't look like a.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah, no,
I think
simple would probably be good. Because those look like little moons floating.
I took a texture. I didn't actually make anything.
Yeah.
It's all Unity assets.
Yeah, it's all previous stuff.
I was just getting like the very basic functionality.
Yeah, that's all we needed for right now.
That would be cool if you had like specular lights interacting with each level. One passes out, maybe going a little faster.
I don't know how much do
That might be too much.
performance on that one. There's a lot of visual.
Great job, Shay.
Yay! All right, who's next?
Switch chair.
Let's musical chairs.
Where will you end up by the end of the show?
You can actually figure that out right now.
Yes.
You're absolutely correct. You guys should figure out exactly what you're doing.
Basically, just everyone's in the next person.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so Shadow Play is a game by Charlotte and I. This is an early sketch. So you're basically playing from the perspective of a child in a house his family just moved in. So he or she is sitting on their bed, and they got a big sheet over the, like, what do they call the wooden pieces that
Bedposts.
bedposts, and they're kind of draped, so you can't see anything in the room, except maybe from the corners next to the bedposts. So I started thinking about, and the game is about shadows, so you need to try to create different shadows with different objects. So I was trying to think of what kind of objects could be in the room and what the objects, like interesting shadows these objects could combine to create. The objective is to raise the sheets to look at these objects and to interact with 5 or 6 different lights in the room. So to the left, as you can see, we have a cracked closet. In the middle, you have a lamp, a little night light right here. Another lamp and a twisty lamp that will be interactable, so you can have it shine on one set of objects and then interact with it to turn to the right to interact with another set of objects. So right here you see all the sheets down. You'll be able to interact with each of the sheets to raise individual signs or one at a time. So you can have them up and down. And here's a breakdown. Oh, that's the Photoshop file. Then we have a breakdown of all of the sets of objects and which lights can turn on to create different shadows on the sheets. So right here, a windmill and a little drawing model creates a fairy on the sheet, and once you raise that sheet, the fairy is now exists in the room, flying around. And then right here, you have a hamper filled with clothes, and when you turn the lamp on behind it, it creates a shadow that looks like floating clouds and a little bird, which is actually a moth in front of the lamp. So you raise it up, now you have a fluffy white cloud floating at the top of the room, along with the fairy. And you keep on going. Number 3, you have a broken clock, which turns into Pac-Man. And each of these shadows will be animated. So it'll be going womp, womp, womp. And then he'll exist in the room. Number 4, we have a coat rack with a clown mask hanging off and a teddy bear. And those create sort of a chubby-cheeked clown with a what's the machine with the horses that go around the carousel.
Carousel crown.
A little weird carousel tower. And now he's like maybe like a sticker on the wall or something. So they don't all have to be animated. Number 5 shows, so you have a fish tank in the room, and the fish is kind of just hovering right there. And then a little lizard on a table in front of the lamp right there. And that'll create more of a vicious looking beast. His arms will kind of move, and maybe his head will move a little bit. And then you'll see him playfully moving behind a dresser when he raises the sheet. The last one, you turn the lamp, and now the lamp combines the dino toy with the little toy boat, and it creates a big, more impressive looking ship, and we'll have animated waves going on the bottom, and the lizard turns into like the, forget the term, the front of the ship. Like some ships have those mermaids on the front, but this will be more like a dinosaur with little arms on the front. And now that guy will be moving around the room somehow. So all in all, you finish all these, you turn all these lights on. Then once you do it, they're not interactable anymore. All the sheets are up, and all these things are now making the room more animated. So that's it.
Amazing.
Oh, and this will be the art style. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, all the lights will affect the objects in proximity.
What are your goals for the next milestone?
Well, we need to build a 3D room and have all these assets, 2D assets, placed around the room, and have the lights work in all the objects. Yeah, I'm not a programmer.
Oh, who's working on this? You and Charlotte?
Yeah.
Do you need help?
I'll do it.
I probably need help.
Okay, because I am very interested in this. I will help. I want to help.
Great.
Yeah.
We'll get it laid
Okay.
out, and then we'll probably figure out what kind of, because most of it's just going to be simple interactions. Where,
Well,
What's the one? Like sort of like 1 or 2 little mechanics.
yeah, it's up and down for the different, right? You look at it, and it turns up and comes down, and depending on which light's on, it turns different textures on and off, and it's pretty much on and off. That's depending on what you interact with. It's just like this texture gets flipped out like that one. So it's really simple.
Okay, I was going to ask for about plot simulation, but never mind.
No.
Because I'm like, what are you going to do? I was like, oh,
It's all 2D textures. It's all 2D.
Really?
Yeah. So we're going to use a lot of.
The sheet could be 3D like the cloth simulation. So
I think
Well,
that's,
it'd be
I
really
know that's
expensive.
really expensive.
Yeah.
That's the reason I was going to ask about it. They were like,
We're
the
trying
thing
to
is that I think you can recreate that feel of actually raising up a cloth by using textures. I think that'd be fine. It's just I was just like, how are they gonna do it?
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah. It's simple and just swapping out textures. There might be a few 3D things in the room just to give it more depth.
You have something like box, like 4-frame animation of the sheet going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just like open
Yeah.
plug.
It's just a quick sprite.
Oh, do you actually want to show it actually raising up, or do you want to be like pretty much like holding on to the curtain and then raising it and stuff? Like you're holding.
We'll look into it.
Okay,
and
because
we'll define that a little bit more. I want to try it as simple as possible first.
Right.
I have
And
a few different frames, like just a median and then all the way up.
maybe.
Yeah, because
But we don't need to do that right away. We could probably do just like hand in, up.
It won't be that much. Yeah, you
And
can use the
then
same,
out. Huh?
you can reuse the same animation over and over.
Yeah.
It won't be that much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a different angle though.
There's 3 of them.
There's 3 of them. Yeah, so you have. Well, you have one. What you
And
have?
you might be able to mirror the texture.
Yeah, there's 2.
So it's 2.
There's just 2 of them involved. But the thing is that you have those different ones. So.
Yep. Good job, Zach. Very Dustin.
It's
like four loop bubbles.
Not bubbles.
Four loop. I can't remember.
We've been letting everybody in. I don't know how to show. Oh, that's right.
But I couldn't get it.
Just tell me about it, place I've done bubbles. I forgot what it was.
Well, you know it's sort of.
Yeah, I know.
We're not sort of.
You're not sorry, you're just.
Do 3D model. Are you a programmer?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, a little bit of 3D modeling experience, so I made these. So, thank you, little cartoon toy car. So this is called Toy Room. The idea is a game of discovery where you have these little toy people and they'll be walking around, and then you have these toy objects like the toy car that you interact with. And you can do different things. And then the people will react to the toys that it is. So I can show different things. So there's different animations, like right there he's curious and he's inspecting the car. And then if you highlight it, he does a little clap, he's slightly amused. And if you're looking at the car while it's driving, he claps overhead. Nice. So that's the basic implementation right now. As I add more toy objects to the table, I want them to kind of play off of each other, so you can kind of combine different interactions together. And depending on the sequence you use, there will be new animations and maybe more interesting behavior. Once I get the people like actually moving around and doing things, maybe they can interact with the objects themselves depending on the states that they're in. So that is the goal. It's really going to be animation heavy, especially in Milestone 3, once I have all the toy objects on the table, because then it's just going to be adding as much variety as I can to what the people can do. So that's what I have right now. I made a little Google Doc for the questions. So the goals for this milestone, I wanted to make basic models for all of the toy objects. I wanted to make the toy person, basic trigger and gaze input for the car, and then I wanted basic animations to respond to the car. And then of course building the basic scene, which is just a small room with a table. I didn't really show the room, but it's just 4 walls. There's nothing around here. Just 4 walls, floor and ceiling. So that's the basic scene. Milestone 3, I'll worry about maybe decorating the room, making what's behind you maybe a little interesting. But everything is right in front of you. You're doing everything from a single standing point, so there's no moving or teleporting. And then,
I'm sorry, well, I should go and have you guys a question later.
No,
I want to ask you a question about what you did.
So, what goals did I reach? I reached all of the goals except for the first one, getting a model for every single toy. I just got the toy car for now. And I still haven't finalized what toys I want. I have a few ideas, so that's why the toy car is the only one that's implemented right now. But everything else was hit. What goals did I surpass? The person animations, I ended up doing more than I expected. My plan was to script the logic for like setting the animator parameters, and then I would just make really simple Unity animations, so just like spinning the mesh and like bouncing it up and down just to test the logic. But I actually went ahead and rigged the person and did the animations in Blender. So I got that done. And yeah, the goal that I haven't reached yet, that's getting all the other toys implemented. And which unreached goals have been or will need to be reworked. Yeah, so since I didn't finalize the toys that I'm going to have, that goal is a little hazy right now. So some more work is required there. New goals for the next milestone. I want to finish making basic models for every single toy. I want basic trigger and gaze input for each individual toy object. Not necessarily like sequences and combining them together, but just individual interactions. And then individual animations for each toy interaction. Goals that'll be easier for the dev exchange, possibly modeling and animation. I'm using this project as an exercise in animation because I don't do a lot of it, so I wanted to improve my skills there. But depending on the feasibility, I might need assistance. How much time will I allot to each goal? I'm predicting maybe 20 hours at least total. So at least 5 hours for modeling, about 5 hours on animating probably. Because now I have a pretty good workflow now that I understand how to work with the rig that I have. And then maybe 8 hours on scripting logic, because it'll go beyond toy interactions. I might want to get more into the behavior of people. So that might get pretty intense scripting wise. How much time will I give? I don't know if I'll have spare time because a lot of this project takes a lot of my time. But I can help with things like playtesting, which I think I talked about later on in this. And yeah, I might need a couple hours of help with modeling or texturing. I plan to put at least 20 hours into the project over the course of the next month. And then in terms of the dev exchange, I can help with programming or general Unity development. If it has to do with modeling and animation, I'm not the guy for that. And I can help with general playtesting and like the feedback that comes with playtesting, if anyone needs that. And yes, I'm having fun. Learning lots of fun animation stuff. And yeah, when it actually works, when the rig comes together and animation works the way it's supposed to, it's very rewarding. So, oh yeah, my favorite part so far is that I didn't know how well Unity was going to do like transitioning between my animation states, but it actually did pretty good like interpolating between the different positions, and I was surprised by that. Yep. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's it. Awesome. Oh, and you had a
How
question.
do you make the track?
That was using Lean Tween.
Ah!
Yeah.
I was making sure if you were like ray casting as soon as the car got in front of the character, be like ray casting. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, the person has a system where, like, once an object enters like a box flat around the
Oh.
person, it'll start tracking that object and start recasting to try and find it.
That's the cutest way to make that work. That's the cutest way to make
Interesting, you had a train track coming off the table around you. You kind of take that look at it.
You would think this is.
Wrap around the other side.
Yeah.
Oh.
That helps a little bit. And if you still need more room, we'll pull the TV. I need a longer cord.
Alright. This is a, project I'm making is basically sort of a fantasy scenario. Basically it's a day in the life of Lagrange point 5, which is basically in astronomy terms, it's basically sort of like a place between the Earth and the Moon where gravity is actually stable. So it's actually a fixed point in space. And basically, based on an RPG I played a long time ago, they actually made it sort of like a trailer park in space. So I actually kind of like the idea about making your own space capsule that you live in. And basically, it's kind of sparse now, but eventually I'm going to fit it with a bed, a bathroom, food, stuff like that. And the red, blue, green square is basically my testing of interacting, which is part of my goal. Basically, my first goal is to actually get a phone that can play Google Cardboard and create a small environment inside of it to know that I can actually create objects in it. And, sort of like the Hello World kind of deal. And also, and then actually, I actually got a little bit farther by creating the capsule, the basic capsule needed in Blender. So basically, this is just it's roughly about 3 meters in length and size, which is basically taller than you are.
but the way that you compensate is basically since you're zero gravity, you get to simulate different things just simply by rotating the capsule. You know, I would probably put like, what do you call it? Little tiny UI elements to get to wherever you need to go. Basically, I just want to have like a, like a small radio or computer, basically giving the events of the day. Well, really, it's the events of the time because there's not really any day in space. And let's see what else. Also, my next milestone will be involving adding normal maps to the capsule to make it more detailed, which I basically got a thing in CG Cookie that shows you how to do it, which I want to follow.
You just lived there?
Huh? Yeah.
Good luck.
Let's see, what else is there? Actually, it didn't take me that long. The biggest hurdle I had was getting all the prefabs from Google Cardboard SDK and work with each other. After I did that, it wasn't too hard at all. There is like a problem that I'm going to have to figure out later on is that I actually turn a lot faster than the actual environment. So I just turn my head a little bit and it actually goes pretty far. I don't know, I mean, it does make it easy to look at things, but on the other hand, it may cause a disconnect and make these motion sickness if I don't fix it. So,
What was the issue?
I could actually show you later. I'm sorry. Well, I can show you it easier. Easier to explain it in the actual application, which I'll do later on. And basically, I'm just going to have like create new art assets to implement like a computer showing up, or I might actually try to open up hatches, or not open up hatches, but basically just dissolve walls and stuff like that, so you can actually see a view of space, that kind of deal. You know, I want to make it look. I want the capsule to look futuristic yet retro at the same time, kind of like a Winnebago in space. But other than that, that's just basically I'm just taking things as they go. You know, if ideas come to me and they seem reasonable enough to implement, then I'll see where I go, make them. So, other than that, that's about it.
Great.
Good
job. All right, Chris.
It's still wrong. My OCD is getting angry at me. See, that's the alpha name. So I'm Christopher Royce. I'm currently working on 2 games. Luckily, one of the games I'm working on is actually part of my college final. So it's probably going to be the only game in our museum that's going to be not a VR experience. I'm thinking this game will just be a painting on the wall. When you get close enough to it, you'll be able to interact with it by gazing at certain parts, clicking. It's a point-and-click RPG game. So anywhere on here, you point here, your character's going to walk there. You point here, he's going to interact with that, interact with the bosses, et cetera, et cetera. And this is just one scene. It does not go anywhere else. Just a simple RPG scene. You can probably do it in 3 and 5 minutes, which is the time we are allotted. This is a very soaked material. I'm going to have to be patient with it. But like I said, it's just a basic RPG scene. I got all the assets going on. I got a lot of the effects for the sun. I got some basic animations going on. I actually have a walk cycle, but for some reason I cannot. I'm learning how to code, so I don't know how to make it to where if I click somewhere, he walks. The only way he's walking right now is if I keep down the W key. So it's kind of an illusion. It's, hey, look, I'm actually walking when I'm clicking. But I'm actually not. But So basically in this scene, and I'm going to go real briefly because it's a real brief scene, you come in here, these ferns over here will actually try to snap at you if you get near them. I'm going to have to get the animations going with that. You can interact with this light post here. It just looks like a highway light post in the middle of the forest, very strange. You can interact with these boxes. At the time, you were not actually able to do anything with that. This light post doesn't work. These boxes don't have anything. If you try to go out here in the fog, at one point it'll say, oh, turn back. You cannot see, the whole cliche RPG thing. There's actually a sign over here that will say to the fractal forest. So you're known to go that way. You know that possibly intuitively you need to go that way somehow. So, let's go in the big cave with the giant sparkly thing. I will explain that later. That'll be more into Milestone 3. I actually have a surprise for everyone with that little thing. Surprise myself. But eventually you got to go to this little box in here if you can actually see it. And the player should intuitively know that, hey, that kind of looks like these boxes. And hey, these boxes have the same color palette as this. Maybe they will interact in some way. So if you do go to this box, you'll be able to find like a battery. Oh, a battery. Oh, batteries work with machines. So you go over here, put the battery in that machine. Then, since I don't know coding very well, I haven't created the triggers or the interactability just yet. So let me just set some things, and you'll be able to see actually what happens when you turn the light on. And this is where I'll need some programming help. It should be really simple though. I actually have some interactable scripts going on that I've been making alongside this one guy on YouTube. He's really cool. He's trying to teach me a little something. Let's see. Make the fog go down. So this light post is actually going to make that fog dissipate. Gotta love fog in RPGs. And this is kind of a cliche RPG scene for certain reasons because it also has kind of surreal objects within the scene. Let's see. Okay, so when you put the battery in the light post, and again, all this is just gazing and clicking with the one button on the Google Cardboard. The fog will recede slowly, and this is a particle generating light post. Very strange device I created. It's actually malfunctioning right now, which is why it kind of looks weird. It looks like it's raining these little particles, but it will dissipate the fog, which will lead you to that NPC over there, this enemy unit, which it's like simple Minecraft fighting. It's point at the enemy and and you hit him, then you can leave. So that's basically it. So the 2 reasons I kind of wanted to make this game. 1, I wanted to expound on my own idea from college. And 2, we didn't have really any non-VR experiences. I wanted kind of an interactive painting on the wall, so I thought it would work. And yeah, that's about it. And that sun actually is setting back there slowly. That kind of gives you, that's a 5-minute sun. Once that sets, the game resets. Or once the sun sets, yeah, the game resets. So just a simple RPG scene. I can stop that now. Well, since I'm presenting 2 games, I'm not going to answer every single question on the Milestone questions, even though I did do them.
You can totally do it. It's okay. Be 2 people.
Well, some of the answers are the same.
Okay. You're gonna represent.
So what were your goals? Considering I'd already done most of the prototyping, white box, alpha goals previously with my project, didn't really have goals per se, but I kind of wanted to perfect them. So I made sure that you couldn't see through the trees and you couldn't see all the little magic tricks behind the curtain. So I got all my little goals done, which was just create basic game conditions, basic scripts, main assets, etc. What goals did I reach, or did you reach, if any? All my goals. There you go. What goals did I surpass? All my goals. Because like I said, it was only supposed to be a prototype, and so basically a beta, a non-playable beta, if that makes sense. What goals have you reached yet, if any? I have reached all aforementioned goals. What goals have you not been able to rework? I have reached all of them. This is pretty simple. What are your goals for the next milestone? Okay, so like I said, since most of the game is basically done, I just need a nice programmer. Since I already have basically all the animations there and all the things attached to one another, I just need a script to be able to make the colliders work with one another. Again, I'm still learning Unity as well, so all that object-based coding is kind of new to me as well. So just some basic coding, that's all I want. I just want the game to work. I want the script for the walking is so easy, it can be probably changed within 2 seconds by one of you geniuses over here. It can actually make him walk when you click instead of playing with the W button. So basically, for my next milestone is just create some working scripts and create a dialogue system that I have going on with the canvas and Unity and all that. So not too bad. I'm trying to focus on my other game more so than this one. but I'll get that in a minute. What goals would be easier? Again, programming. That's all basically need for this project. It's all basically done. All the assets and everything are done. Just need some programming. Probably need a splash screen. So maybe before you interact with it on the painting, there's a splash screen. You get near it, the splash screen goes away, and you see the idle animation of the character. You're like, oh, things are moving. And then you can start playing with it. So I'll get to that later. How much time will you allot to each goal next time? Again, shouldn't take too much, and I don't want a programmer to just make the scripts for me. I would like to sit down with, I'm sorry, I'm looking at you three. but yeah, I don't want you all to do all the work. I would, if anything, you could tell me what to do, and I could do it myself. I mean, I would really need to learn this stuff. I'm so bad at programming. I used to not be. That was 12 years ago. How much time will you give and need for dev exchange? Again, I think I have a lot of things set up already, and actually have scripts working there. It would make one script that would react with all the other scripts. That would be pretty easy. And oh yeah, and how much time will I give? I'm actually working on 3 projects. I'm working on her game too. But I'm graduating next week, yay! So I will have a lot more free time than I had previously for the past 2 years. I've been in the weeds for 2 years, y'all. It's crazy. How much time do you realistically plan to put? Again, I don't think it'd be that much. So, you know, however much time is needed, maybe 10 hours at the most. I think. What do you feel you can offer? Again, I can do a few things. I like level design. I like to conceptualize ideas. I like to create ambience, whether it's through fog or sound or just the way objects are placed in a scene. I can do some voice acting or screaming. I think I'm pretty diligent when it comes to game design or gameplay design. I like trying to figure out how a game would work and what would make it better. But what I could really help with is writing, modeling, texture creation, animations. Not so much animations as everything else, but I'm still learning. And I use Maya, so Maya's fun. Are you having fun? I'm always having fun. Like I said, anytime I get to play games, let alone have a hand in creating them, I am having fun. There you go. What's my favorite part so far? So for this project, I just like being able to take an idea I've had in my head for 20 years, being able to actually make a game based off the idea, and being able to present it with all my friends. So that's always cool. So there's Yenen's Tale. Yenen's Tale Crossroads is just the scene from the actual game. This game, I'm not going to be explaining it all that much, because so this next game was originally called Soulmates. Soul as in S-O-U-L. And it was a totally different game, actually using these assets in a very exaggerated way. You were like in an arena, and there were all these souls around you that were like corrupted, and you were a Buntain soul. You were an angel's soul, basically. And if you interacted with these bodies, you would be able to cleanse them through a quick mini game. It would be like a labyrinth maze through their chakras and stuff. It was very weird. Didn't know exactly where we were going. Hopefully this game will kind of stretch from that one. So Shiloh, but most of the game had to do with flying. It had to do with hovering and flying. And Shiloh was like, "You gotta make me sick." And I'm like, "You're making me sick." And so for her case and for everyone else's sickness, because I get sick easily too, I was like, okay, so instead of you moving around everything moves around you. And that was kind of awesome. Zach's helping me with this. That was kind of his idea as well. I was like, cool, let's do this. So I'm trying to keep all of my projects lore driven, having to do with the games I'm working on the side. So that being said, I was like, okay, so instead of being a Buntain soul and going across these different worlds and cleansing these people and trying to find your soulmate, your host, let's take a step back. Because the lore of my game is when a person or being dies, their soul goes into the native sun of their planet and is cleansed within the sun and is sent back down. So with that being said, I'm like, what if we were actually the sun god within the sun, cleansing the souls that we were sending back down? And that's where the idea for this game came from. And now it's actually called Soulmates, S-O-L mates. Honey. I love it. So hopefully this will load a little fast. It should be loading now. Yeah, I still got both versions just in case. Again, a decent idea. I think it would work better in a different platform, possibly not the Google platform. Thank you, Shadow. I'm just joking. Love you. Like I said, this is a very slow computer, so I'll probably just go ahead and start talking about it a little bit. So what were my goals for this milestone? So my goals, like everyone else, is to create the basic idea, create the prototype, the white box model, and I'd actually done most of that, but like I said, I had to rechange everything, so again, I had to create new ideas with Zach. I had to create new art, So the original Soulmates was very model driven. Probably a lot too many polygons, really, even though all the assets were low poly. So with this game, I want to create a game that's ethereal in nature. Like the only model is the sun you're within, and it's an inverted sun. It's got inverted textures. All the normals are pointing in. I've shown you how to show this. And what you're seeing around you will either be particle effects or sprites, and that's it. So it should be able to work very well on Google Cardboard, and I want it to feel very, very dreamlike. And compiling scripts, my God. As soon as that gets done, I may have to show it after everyone else. But I really don't have too much to show on this one. Like I said, we haven't really got to work too much on this idea. I do have the sun. Looks like you're in a giant Dorito. You'll see. It's got like fog and particle effects that makes it look like solar flares are going in and out. Here we go. We actually got some model NPCs that were originally implanted there, just kind of spawning from the outside of the sun and coming towards the center, dying, spawning, dying, spawning, dying. And I'll tell you all about the gameplay in a minute. I'm actually forgetting to talk about that. But now we've implemented some NPC sprites to where they kind of just float around, and I'll be able to show you that in a minute. But anyway, back to gameplay. Gameplay-wise, so originally it was to cleanse souls. And this one, it's to purify souls, almost the same thing. So what you're doing, you're going to see souls of humanoids. You're going to see souls of beasts. You're going to see all these different souls writhing around you in the sun. And kind of like with the bubble game, and this is why I was talking about using your script, the different souls are going to be different sizes, different colors. So you're going to have an invisible HUD, an invisible bar that's going to fill up with soul energy. And when your soul energy bar gets filled up, you're going to be able to put those souls together. Yeah, look, giant Dorito. You're going to be able to put those souls together and create a purified soul and shoot it out to one of the planets so it can go find its own host. I know it sounds really confusing. It's really, really not. So each time, and this is just some little ideas we're talking about, each time you absorb a soul, it's going to create an angelic chanting of a certain octave. This is what I was about to. So let's say we absorb the little red soul. It's going to go, oh, and okay, the little red soul is not enough to fill your energy. So maybe you need a bigger soul. So you see a bigger soul, you absorb that, and you go, oh. So instead of having a HUD and a meter filling up, you're going to hear this angelic singing. And the louder it gets, the more you know you're close to a purified soul. And it's going to hit a certain decibel or something where you know. Yeah, I don't know why the right screen is darker. I do not know how to implement Google prefabs, Google VR prefabs just yet. It's something else I'm learning.
That's a good question.
But Zach just used Spriter to create these basic animations, and that's all it is. Just create different size, different shape, different looking NPCs that would be spawning in different areas. And like what you are saying, only have them spawn in a 180-degree angle, so you're not constantly looking behind you. And if you do look behind you, they'll just spawn in that certain area. So very similar. Our first HUD originally were, see these little bubbles down here? Speaking of bubbles, we were going to have every time you absorb a soul, its energy would go in a bubble. And that would just be kind of indicative of, oh, I've got this many souls. But again, I don't want this to be very visually based except for the whole mysterious feeling and effects and stuff. I really want audio to be there too. So I think having an audio HUD is kind of an interesting idea. Again, we'll need some play testing. But this is a really simple idea. Now, this could, you could win, this game condition could be won very simply, depending on how many souls you need to create. So there's going to be one thing that's going to be running around, and that's the purple soul. So there's 5 different souls with 5 different colors. Then there's the purple one, as you just saw. It actually jumps around a bit. Ooh, it's going very fast. The purple soul is one you do not want to absorb. If you absorb it, it deletes all the souls you had previously absorbed. So that's going to be added somehow to create some challenge, just so it's not so easy. And that also goes with the lore, because purple represents death, represents rebirth, represents change. And the universe that his son was part of originally did not know about death. Death was a virus that, I'm not going to go into that. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's kind of a simple idea, and I think it can be interesting. We can change the textures of the sun. Here, I'll show you all what it looks like. I actually used this sun idea for her game. See, just an inverted sphere. And some cool cat on Google had a script going on. And yeah. So I think we can do some cool ideas. And I'll just briefly go over these. Yes, I got most of my goals, even though I had to redo the game. Actually, I like having to redo it. I like having to say, hey, you have to literally throw away everything you've done and start from scratch. Okay, and we created something maybe a little bit better than the original idea. So I like having to do that. I like the challenge and being able to
Iteration, right?
Yeah, that's all it is. I should have named my games Iteration Series, the Legends of Iterations. What goals have you not reached yet? I don't feel it's an actual game yet. I still feel like we're expounding on the actual idea, but I think the way we're going is a very good way. Again, we need to rework kind of the art style. I think you got it. You know where you're going with your art style with your NPCs. I gotta make this sun. Because I don't feel like you're actually in the sun. But then again, no one's been in the sun. Other than those people in those 2 or 3 movies we've seen. Oh, it's full of stars, that sort of stuff. So I guess it's whatever I think it would look like. But I don't want you to feel like you're in a Dorito-looking fishbowl. I don't know. So I'm gonna reiterate on that. Oh yes, please. And I would like to be able to create like actual solar flares, like arching solar flares with the particle system, which I don't think would be that hard. You just have to create some curves. Okay, so as for Dev Exchange, as for this project, I need artists, whoever want to be artists. Zach is, I love his art. I follow him, I stalk him on Twitter and stuff. So I assume he'll be able to create what we need to create, but if anyone else wants to jump in, if we can use you, please, more welcome. Again, programming. This game literally has, other than the Google VR prefabs, has no scripts whatsoever. So just need some basic gazing and clicking scripts, create some animations or effects when you absorb the soul, little sound effects. So again, it's really in a horrible alpha stage, but it's good. And what I plan on doing for next milestone is just making it an actual game. I think next time I present it, be able to actually play it, there won't be any more coding added. Shadow wants us to have the next milestone. Blah blah blah. Am I having fun? Of course I am. And then what is my favorite part? So like I said, I at first Soulmates was an entirely different game. I had to scrap it. Now it's an entirely new game. I kind of like the new idea better, especially because it fits in my lore. So that makes me happy. And I also really like to collaborate with artists. Sadly, I haven't really, other than Mortimer's Mansion, obviously, but that was more of a group effort. That wasn't really team as much group. We were kind of individuals being interdependent. This is more being kind of dependent on one another, and that's really cool. I like that. So there's my 2 games. Sorry to talk so much. Oh yeah, right. I heard you on my laptop. Sorry. I love her game. I love her game better than my games.
Probably have to reconnect the market.
Right.
If someone were to pronounce it out loud, it would just be space, right?
No. Spas.
According to Vin.
Yeah, according to Vince, it's spas. Say yas to the spas.
Yeah, he's calm. He didn't say
Sounds like one of those things that you shouldn't pronounce out loud.
Oh, did it? Oh, I didn't.
Set it on Hangouts.
Oh, of course.
It's also on Facebook.
What did you
I
say?
think so. Okay, we'll show it then at the end.
It's on Anchors.
I can cast it from here at the end.
What do you mean, using the texture?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'll load in
I
about
love this one.
30 minutes.
Does anybody know what his is called? I thought it was Vaporwave.
Oh, that's Vaporwave Racer, yeah.
Yeah,
Vaporwave Racer. Oh my god.
It's just not a big
Forgot about that.
Pardon me. I believe Vaporwave.
Did I spell Vaporwave?
Yeah.
Yeah, racing.
Whatever.
It's fine.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
If you should,
Oh,
is it
wow.
on? Because this game actually runs really well. Yeah, it'll maximize, which is just fine.
And the
Yep, you just play it like a normal game with the character controller.
Okay, so my original idea for this game was called Jacuzzi Galaxy, and it didn't work out because Jacuzzi's trademark. So I changed the name this is a little Alice in Wonderland hallway. It gets small. So I can't program at all. So I was really worried that when I did this, I would only be able to make like a square box room because I've seen Chris do it so much, and I wouldn't have anything to present or anything, just like little boxes. But Chris actually modeled everything for me for the first meeting. The idea is each of these items will not be moving like they are. Like Chris said, he can't code very well, but these are animations that are going to happen when you gaze and look at each item. So like the jelly jars, there will be jelly in there that will go into the, well, we're trying to make a galaxy with these items, except more like a fun way of doing it, as in the jelly jars is matter, the stuff in the gumball machine will be planets, and then the toy box will be suns,
The bath bombs will be.
bath bombs will be suns, and then perfume will be gases.
I made those effects. I'm sorry. They're my first effects I ever made. See the squeezing down there? When it squeezes, it actually comes out.
Yeah, it undulates. And then each item is supposed to be like fun, so like a jelly jar for space, so it would be bath related, so it would be like jelly soap and bath bombs, bath salts out of the gumball machines, and then just like perfume. And so ideally, when you look at each item and gaze at it, it would do the animation you're seeing, but not all of this would be going off at once. So if you look at the jelly jars would go in. The gumball machine would turn and the planet would come out, that kind of thing. And then as you add each...
Won't you go in the basement?
Oh, yeah.
And tell them about the water.
And then so when you add each item, the water will rise up a little bit and a little bit until it's full to like your horizon line. And then the ultimate goal is to, once you've used all items, you will be in space up there. It'll be a different texture, but the idea is you'll be jetted into this by like a blackness, and then you'll open your eyes kind of thing in VR and be in space. And then it'll be playing like spacey music kind of thing. I surpassed all the goals I wanted for this game for the first milestone because, like I said, I only thought I was going to have little square boxes, and Chris actually modeled everything for me. And these little spheres up here are actually from World of Warcraft that Chris like modeled himself.
She's like, I like these. I was like, I'll make them in your game.
Yeah, they look really nice.
They're like pearl lights.
My goals for the next meeting is to have everything colored. We're actually getting Zach to, there's a dome behind this.
Yeah, there's an Oculus up there. Okay, so what that thing is, that's another inverted sphere. What would happen is, like she was saying, when the water levels start rising over your head, it would fade out. Your character's transform position would actually go up in the sphere, which would actually probably be out of the building. And then when it would fade in, it would look like space had filled up around you, but it's an illusion. It's just an inverted sphere with a texture, maybe some models or sprites floating around, giving you the illusion you're in space. So there's supposed to be an Oculus up there with a dome, like she said.
And the dome I'm getting Zach to make for me, and it's going to be star related. I just kind of solidified what I want, I think. And my other goals will be, other than the coloring everywhere, is to have working code for each of these so that the gaze actually works when you walk in and you don't have all these things going off at once. And maybe a code for the water as well to fill up when each item is added.
You also, we're going to need either textures or shaders.
And textures.
Each time you add an item to the water changes what it looks like. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that.
So a lot of that can be done with turning things on and off. It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be,
That's what it's hoping for.
yeah, transforms might not even be necessary. You can just seriously have something pre-made that just turns on.
Oh, true. Yeah, you could have the sphere right there, in the area, you can be there, and you can't see outside the sphere. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I try to do all the animations right now, so when we get scripting involved, man, you can just connect them, and it's done.
That's my job.
Yes.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, oh yes, I had fun seeing my Pinterest.
Yeah, all that was from
I put together a Pinterest, and Chris basically went on my Pinterest and made all these things based off the pictures that I had saved.
So, do you have your Pinterest available to you? Are you on the internet? Are you?
It should be connected, but I don't.
Because I would love to see, that's the kind of stuff, you know, your the process on this would be kind of
Right,
cool.
concept art.
Yeah.
If you actually zoom out of that building, it looks like a pipe. I did not mean for it to look like that, but it looks like just a corncob pipe. Very strange.
Might be Pinterest.
www. How to internet. Yeah, I don't even think.
You need a programmer for this.
Yes. I'm the,
You have your own Pinterest.
I do?
Yeah, but there's a.
Remember, I made you sign up for LCA.
Okay, okay. See, I thought I could see all your stuff without having to create one.
You have number one.
I have nothing.
How do you sign up?
I don't know.
Go to the dot where it says 29. Go to the,
Because I get your emails about Pinterest stuff.
No.
no.
Like in the,
Oh, yeah,
right above versus Christopher.
yeah, that's
There's the
dot.
3 dots.
Oh,
Like,
But yeah.
The little prefabs.
yeah, I use the heck out of Pinterest. I don't know if anybody else here uses it, but it's great for like capturing just everything off the internet and categorizing it.
If you look forward or something to indicate.
And you can share it with people for projects. There's one on there for HDRE Dreams right now
So,
with like,
You do the tour for it.
Right.
Yeah, I
Concept
mean, that's
images
that's the,
you know,
what we'll
just
do,
inspiration stuff.
what we'll do is that
But
we can make it so that.
I highly
you
recommend
cannot
it
go
if you
back,
have
if you wanna go back into the hallway.
So what it is,
It's also
when
a
you
little
first get
bit
in the hallway,
I have
all you see
several
is that,
boards.
is a rope.
yeah.
Yeah,
When you pull that rope, that opens that door.
okay,
And then once you get inside the basin, that door closes, so you can't go back out.
okay, so we'd be able
So
to,
there's a trigger in the basin.
yeah, so.
Cool.
Makes
So
the
for
animation
the first few images are gonna be like where the dome and inspiration, there's about 8 of them.
Yeah.
That's what different colors and art styles. These jelly jars, these different jars were the ideas I gave him for the jelly jars that he made. Gumball machine. Some of these galaxy looking things are kind of what I'm thinking about the end texture will be for the galaxy that's all around you. I also saved some perfume bottles.
There's the one.
Yeah, there's several that were in the actual game that you can see. And then I've got ideas for what the bath bomb textures will be, and I saved them. And then I have different ideas for what the water would look like, maybe for certain ones, and then more space ideas.
This is great.
And then I had different ideas for the basin, but I didn't. It ended up turning into something completely different, so I liked that. This one's my favorite one. I think if I do get a texture for the space, I would want it to be more like this, maybe with these planets in it or something like that. But yeah, it basically took everything I saved. Oh yeah, the toy box was at the beginning. The toy box shape was here, and then he added the stars to that.
I think I use that Madeline. I mean, it's just.
Yes, that Madeline one, and then added stars to it. So yeah, I took all of this, and since I can't do anything, I was like, and he put it all together. So I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to see it colored.
Now, this is a great example of a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? You can tell people, like, you can communicate with Zach, like, I want to combine these two things, and that gives him something so much more to work with.
I love Pinterest. It's so easy to find stuff, and especially if you can't vocalize very well what you're looking for. You're like, okay, well, here's exactly what I'm thinking of. Just combine things. So that's exactly what you said. So yeah, that's space.
Chucks.
Yes, you have a replay? Is it a location, so folks can help you out with that?
We can put it in the drive.
Well, yeah, of course. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Repositories.
You just sit here.
you really gets to make it so that is at a location where you can actually
It's a fun game. Fun game.
works well.
Yeah.
You need,
Okay, so I'm making airmail, and this is a dream about paper cranes flying around mailboxes. And so I couldn't get the Google reticle to work. So what I have right now is, it's not interactive yet. They have these mailboxes and I have these cranes, and they fly around. They sort of flock. The flocking needs to be better. There's going to be a few more of them, I think, and eventually they sort of fly around the player's head. You can then see those, and then they'll fly away again. And it is when you look at one of these mailboxes, it'll pop open, and kind of like a Ghostbusters trap, it will suck in cranes. And every time cranes get sucked in, the remaining cranes get bigger, and eventually there's only one crane left, and it's giant, and it kind of crushes the mailbox and then looks at you. So I don't have that stuff in. I got stuck on I spent a bunch of time trying to get the reticle to work. The next thing I'm going to do is upgrade Community 5.5 to 5.6 and try the damn stuff. Because I have a feeling maybe it's just an SDK bug. We'll see.
Says, the newest SDK says to use 5.6. The newest
Oh, yeah.
Google VR SDK
Oh, yeah.
says to use 5.6.
Yeah, maybe I used an older version or something. There was a thing that was not a Google SDK. It was just like use Unity's 5.6 or something because it's built in. And I got whatever the other one was, the 1.3 or. I used 5.6 and I still had to download the SDK.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that won't solve any of my problems.
Well, the SDK will still use, like, the Unity is built in, like, the rendering. The SDK will still give you, like, pre-pads.
Oh, yeah.
Scripts for doing,
Okay.
like, doing, like, interaction.
So maybe it's exactly the same. I went through the tutorial, did all the right things, and nothing worked, so I blame Google. So this is what I have right now. For the next milestone, what I plan to have is basically everything working. The mailboxes will be able to consume the birds will grow and shrink. The whole flow will exist. And I might have time to do a few animations on things. But I want to have it fully functional so that all I have left is kind of visual polish. Yeah, that's where I am right now.
Did you have to pivot on anything, or has it been pretty straightforward?
It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, at some point I'll have to figure out how you put an image on a 3D model. Some people call it texture. But yeah, it's been pretty straightforward. This is the first VR stuff I've done, and at first the mailboxes were too big, and so the first thing I tried to see was like moving the mailbox further away, because in normal 3D that makes it look smaller, but in VR it just makes it look big but further away. That's some scaling stuff to figure out. But yeah, I think it's going to work pretty well. You're going to be sitting on a park bench, so it's going down to a bench. It should be pretty simple. And there's going to be a street lamp. It's going to be more of a twilight situation.
Awesome.
I can't wait to see the giant crane.
All right, Leonard.
Maybe, yeah.
You'd be a sassy crane.
Oh, are you looking at me? All right.
Should have gotten another chair. I should have gotten another chair.
There's a normal chair, everyone would have.
Yeah, everyone would have one to see. There's kind of, yeah, there's more.
At this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, at this point, it's kind of fun, but
It's also last.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leonard's the last one.
Yeah.
I'm the last one.
well, Vince is the last one technically, and then I had some stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Don't leave. Charlotte's like,
Certainly.
I have to talk and
That will be a problem. What might be a problem is the location of the HDMI.
So,
Perfect. Okay.
Are you working on Vincent's?
No, I'm not, I think Vince is working on his own thing personally, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, video, I'll show the video.
Oh.
Yes. Make it easy.
You said it on the.
All right, also, I'm kind of embarrassed because the fact is that I've been looking for these milestone questions and I can't find them. So, I'll just have to, what I'll do is I'll look through somebody else's milestone questions.
They're on Trello.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool, also let me fix this real quick.
Yeah, there's also a document in the template.
Under the projects folder within your Google Drive that you shared with us, everyone has their own folder within projects.
Yeah.
Within that itself, within documents.
Yeah, in documents.
Anything in there is
You were
also.
selected on the milestone meeting questions when you opened the thing.
Yeah.
That we were looking for?
Yeah.
No, we can't see.
Unfortunately.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, God. Right.
Did you unplug the cord?
No, I didn't unplug the cord. What I did is I did the stupid duplicate.
Yeah, you made it not work.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna do this, unfortunately, because I can't, Alrighty. Hello, everybody. My name is Leonard Wetterberg. I am working on, I finally decided to actually do a drinks project. I was pretty much like, I didn't know what I was planning on doing, and I know what I was like, let me just try to work on something. So my project is called Fluffy Water. The idea is that you are in a small park in the middle of these buildings that surround you, and what you're able to do is that you're able to create your own fountains in the water by gaze and everything. So you're able to look at it and be able to create your own little water fountains of different colors and everything. It's just a small park that you have around you. So I started this small, simple way. Go full screen? Yeah. So you're able to use a reticle to be able to look. I want to get you're able to click on a button, and then you're able to make the points, and then that was bad. That one. Try again. Yeah. You click on a button, and then you're able to make the points. I think I just increased it to 30 about 5 minutes ago, so you're able to actually do it. And then you press play, and it makes the particles come up. And then I just put a random color the other day, so you put on a random color, and then you press play again, you get a different color. So press random color again. Type different color. What happens is that I think Shane talked to me about this the other day. If you hit random color before the particles die, it doesn't change it or anything. So, and then you press R to remove it, and then again, you can go in there and make different designs and everything. So that's the idea. Is maybe just create that simple, nice simple water fountains that you see like downtown and everything. So I got that working. Also did some steps. So yeah, this uses UV 5.6 and everything, so it works out pretty well. My goal is to, actually, let me go back to those questions. Oh, you said they were in Trello?
Yeah,
Or
you
there-
can find
yeah.
unless it's changed.
I'll just use somebody else's. I'm sorry, this is, I think,
Oh, that's mine.
yeah. All right. What were your goals for this milestone? Goals actually to make something. Actually decide if I was going to do dreams or not. I just didn't know I wanted to do it, so that was one of the things. Was like deciding what I was going to do and if I was going to do it, and if I was going to create something and work on something small that I could create in a short period of time. And then like continually working on throughout the whole time. What goals did you reach, if any? That's the question?
Yes.
That's the question? Okay. What goals did you reach, if any? Like I just said, I started working on the project, and I got a basic feel of what I'm looking for. I was kind of worried about doing math So if you look here on the project, no, that's the wrong thing. No, that's the wrong thing. I'm good, yeah. It's, now I forgot what I was going to show you.
Math.
Oh, yeah, math. Not really that difficult, math. I was kind of worried about coding to make sure that the distance between each single little fountain generator was actually a certain distance. Not too difficult after I started doing it, but it was a little bit of a challenge to think like, hey, how do you program this to actually make it work? And it worked out fine. Let me go back to the questions. Where goals did you surpass, if any, and how? Getting that little raycast stuff to work on a small layer was actually somewhat of a challenge, but it was a challenge in order to actually get something working because I needed to make it work. What goals have you not reached yet, if any? So I really want to go in there and make it like a small park, so I need to create some grass, some trees. I also want to make it so that those buttons aren't in there. Those buttons are just temporary. I don't want those buttons in there. I want to be able to click on certain items in the world and those, they'll be replacement for those buttons. One idea I do have is to click on, there'll be birds flying around, click on different colored birds, and then actually change the color of the particles. That's one of those. I also have an idea for using a, what's it called? Like a big switch that turns the fountain system on and off, and that can just erase it completely.
Flushing the water.
Flushes the water. Yeah, maybe. I can try that. If possible, yeah. Alrighty. Which unreached goals have been or will need to be reworked and how? I don't think any right now. What are your new goals for next milestone? And I think getting rid of the buttons, having no buttons whatsoever. That's go. No buttons. Everything just simple clicking. How much time we allot for each goal and why? As much time that it takes to make it work. I'll be 3D modeling the birds. I was gonna ask a friend about checking the birds, but I think I should work on it myself. Oh, well, I could ask for some folks on the demonstrators to help make a bird for me.
So that's what the point is.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be helping somebody with programming, maybe they can help you with art.
True.
Yep.
True. So I think y'all completely changed this thing for me. I recorded I was offering my time already, but there are folks that I really want to help out because I'm really interested in what you guys are doing. So hit me up, and I'll help you out with the projects. How much time? As much as you need. How much time you realistically plan to put into your project and demonstration next month? Let's give it 20 hours. I think I can probably get stuff done hopefully in that time. What do you feel you can offer to help do the dev exchange? Programming help, modeling help. Well, I'll focus on the programming side and everything because it seems to be some people actually get help with that. Am I having fun? Yes, I'm having fun. Because I'm getting back into simple VR. And nothing too complicated and everything, just raycasting, clicking on stuff and everything. Also just trying to be more creative and get my mind back to the state of which it used to be like 4 or 5 years ago. Which favorite part so far? See what y'all making. That's actually enjoyable. See what y'all making and see what's actually going on and see things come alive and be able to put it together. That's what I'm enjoying. So awesome.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, we have one more floor, we've got Vince's,
Yeah,
so
let me find that real quick.
I've got it.
Oh, okay.
You need, I can cast from here, so just unplug.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I can just stay there.
Yep.
I will stay
Hello,
right.
so my name's Vince,
It's so weird to feel physical parts moving around your computer.
and this is my game for HVR Dreams. It's called Vaporwave Racing, and it is an online multiplayer racing game.
You guys have it too?
I
Fairly
need to remote.
straightforward. The way it plays is you look, and the car will try its damnedest to get there. And usually fail because I currently have it like closely misconfigured for what the shape of the car is. And you have multiple players. I have that functionality set up along with this sick vaporwave background. No music in it yet, but that's a definite must. Currently it controls like a block of lead on an ice skate.
Yeah. See you
But
later.
I'll see about fixing that later. It wouldn't be very resilient to hackers, but
Are you
I
going to pile
mean,
up?
it's an art installation, so who
Well,
cares?
that's amazing. That's amazing.
But yeah, so my goals were to like make a
That's cool. That's good.
On ZBrush?
Yeah.
Not sure if it's better than Maya though.
There's a free version of ZBrush.
Yeah.
That's called.
Yeah, but it's called. Not sure if it's like the best call.
There's something that there's
Did the TV turn off?
First off, snap to the mesh.
So you find it out.
To like,
But it's
adding a mesh
ZBrush
based
company.
on.
It's a free alternative versions. I just can't. No, ZBrush is ZBrush. I think yes.
Read topology.
I remember. I remember they didn't make it. They just operated alternative free alternative.
Is it supposed to broadcast to your desktop or just the video?
No, the desktop. No cable. Oh, it's trying to, because the HDMI cable maybe?
No, it's.
You just unplug that cable.
Filters. So it goes back to
Filters, yeah.
something else. Like you were doing that with like the cable TV, whatever, stuff before. If you don't get anything onto the screen share fast enough, it just goes back to something else.
It's trying to cast right now. It's not being cooperative.
Oh, you can only do it from your.
Have to do it again.
Oh.
You can't do it. It's just Bluetooth.
I think it might be Wi-Fi direct.
No, it's Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
Like,
That's
I mean,
horrible.
Bluetooth.
That's horrible. Why do you Bluetooth for that?
Come on now. Said it was connecting.
Mobile monster.
Connecting to Mobile Monster.
Maybe you're fine.
That's the name of my computer.
Oh.
Why is it not?
I'll just put it to the issue.
No, it was casting earlier. Nope. All right, Leonard, can you hook it up to your computer? It's not going to
Yes.
cast from here.
No problem.
Sorry.
No problem.
I think it's because I'm streaming as well, and it might be too much bandwidth for my computer.
Computer's doing way.
It's a little.
Not matter.
All right, let me make sure there's nothing.
They're not even using the same.
It's on Google Hangouts.
Yes, yes. It was so slow.
Oh, we lost all of our watchers. Guess your uncle had to go out for lunch. There it is.
It's like a solid.
This has changed a little bit.
Can you start it, please?
Yeah.
And turn it up on your computer.
It's called Hvre Racing, and it is an online multiplayer racing game. Fairly straightforward. The way it plays is good luck, and the car will try its damnedest to get there. If we fail, is configured for what the shape of the car is. And you have multiple players. I have that functionality set up along with sick favorite background. That's a definite must. There's currently controls like I see. I'll see them fixing that later. It wouldn't be very resilient to hackers, but I mean, it's an art installation, so you know, who cares? So controls. Or to like make a vaporwave racing game in multiplayer and use the prototype for it. And I think I got actually much further along than I thought I would. I have something that like actually functions. The multiplayer is still like super flaky in VR, which is I need to figure out a good way to actually start the server and get people to connect. But run super smooth for everyone involved. Yeah. I say, you can go see the other ones now. Okay.
Oh, oh,
Good job, everybody. Yay.
So he said installation. Is that going to be the only installation in our, are we going to have an installation in our museum?
No.
Okay. So he's
The
just
whole
using that word.
project.
The whole project is an art installation.
We were talking also, like how this is going to be a painting, not necessarily something you jump in, and then we were also talking about maybe having sculptures you can manipulate. And the installation is kind of that.
Everything will have to be instant, like you'll go into an instance of your game. So even if you have a painting, it'll probably go into something where it locks
like,
the view.
Yeah. I wonder if also like it's maybe just sort of black ground.
Yeah, it just dims everything
Or-
out maybe around
or
you or
not-
something like
I
that.
think it'd be less complicated than the museum.
Yeah,
Maybe
we don't want to have
maybe
the
it's
museum in
not-
the background while playing your,
Yeah.
especially your game, because yours is a little more resource heavy. So
I can always,
it's fine.
You have like a box around it or something.
Yeah, we'll just put
So it
a
would-
black
it
sphere
would
around
stop
it or
you
something.
from, what would happen if you turned your head away from it?
There's nothing there.
So then if you walk away from it, then the museum comes back?
No.
No.
No, you'll
We're
use
having-
the exit strategy that everybody's gonna use.
Yeah, probably like something
I don't think that was the right term, but whatever. The exit,
oh, yeah.
interaction.
Are there requirements yet on exiting the app or scene that we're in order to go back to the
Don't
original?
worry about
Shay is working on it.
If it's, so I'm at some point going to take everyone's game and put it into one big project.
I think we're gonna do looking down,
And it'd be easiest,
Right, that's a preview.
it'd be easiest for everyone to not like
worry about it
develop that
themselves.
themselves.
I know.
I'll just throw it on everyone's.
Just don't look down in your game. If you have to look down,
It
like
does
for
bring up the-
control,
okay.
like at your feet,
Mhm.
then let us know so that we can rework everybody else's stuff. But preferably, don't look down.
So,
Like, cause that's gonna be your exit. Most games,
That makes
you're not gonna look at your feet. Why would you look at your feet?
I was gonna say, what
Are
about
you gonna
yours and mine?
stay in the water and look down at the pretty water?
You can look at the
Yeah, you
water.
do.
Yeah, but you'll look down like this,
Maybe I
not
can-
like this.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a difference
Rated
between
higher,
looking at, yeah.
Well, there's a prefab that has an icon that shows up when your head turns a certain amount of degrees. It'll show up. You look at it, it fills up, and then it does an action.
Yeah.
She mentioned
Kind
that.
of what we wanted to.
There is one for Google Cardboard where you turn your head 90 degrees this way. That's, I guess that made me dizzy.
Well, that's
Oh,
because,
I can use a quick level.
well, that's because they weren't expecting you to have strapped to your head, you're basically just.
Yeah, you just turn it with your hand.
Yeah, and we're not gonna strap it to their head, so that might.
Why not?
We do have one group do that too.
Yeah, we do have some that do, but for now, we're gonna go with the looking down. If we decide we wanna switch to the turn one and it works with everybody, we'll do that.
Also, an easy way to look straight down is not actually look down.
Just take it off.
And actually, it's.
Looking down at like what's in front of you is different than looking all the way down, in my opinion. There's like a degree of
Yeah.
difference
I
there.
mean, again, like the straight down that you get by taking off the headset.
Yeah, and holding.
It's almost hard
Yeah.
to do that.
So we just tell people to take it off their face and hold it for 30 seconds.
Take it hard. It shouldn't be 30 seconds.
I would say 4.
It's not that, it'll be a long.
It doesn't have to be that long, right? Just think about it. It needs to be,
We'll test it and find out what a good one is.
yeah, we'll test it out. We need to.
So any questions, other questions about it? Well, Shay's working on getting some stuff together for, that kind of stuff. So don't worry about exiting yours to go back into the main menu or the main gallery.
Just again, try to use the newest Google VR, SDK, and Unity 5.6.
Apparently all the standard.
Probably should get a project preview version, not to say the newest.
Yeah.
Like Google
Yeah,
VR.
we can do that. 5.6.
They were using standard assets from 5.5, 5.6 are actually different. The coding is different apparently, like a lot of terms are obsolete. So I had to go back and actually edit standard assets. I guess I could just read the new standard assets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should be updated,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I noticed that they're like.
Our scripts need to use namespaces.
Yeah, use namespace is good one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Just to ensure.
That way, like, especially things there's, like, if you imagine like every single person having a players or something like that.
Yes, of course.
And so when we put them all in the same project, we don't want their conflicts.
All right, I'll do that right now.
So.
I know it's good. I know it's easy.
So I just make a namespace with whatever your game's name is.
Yeah. Fluffy water. That was a joke.
So Vince's game, the original idea was having a kind of a toy track. You know how like the 80s you had those cars that you pull the little handle and we wanted to have an undulating track floating in space and have all these chairs kind of sitting around it. And if you looked at a chair, you could actually teleport to the chair so you have a different angle on the track. In multiplayer, people would be in different chairs. That's his
I
original
like
idea.
that. I like it all.
Well, originally we wanted to do first person, and again, we're trying not to be.
Okay, so if there aren't any more questions, I have a couple of announcements. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
but I want to get this out there before people have to start leaving.
But you can actually see.
Oh, that's over here.
Experience just about trying one.
We can be here.
Oh, no, that's what it said on.
Yeah, we got through a lot faster. I thought people would take a lot longer to talk about their projects, so we're actually way ahead of schedule already. Let's have a seat for a second. I want to talk about a couple things. We had a board meeting yesterday and talked about a couple things with what we're going to be doing with HPRA. So we've got Dreams coming up in July for Rules and Play. Okay, and that's what our goal is for the gallery. Now, after Rules and Play, we've also applied for other art shows, but we are going to, if you would like, give you the opportunity to break out your game, continue working on it, and then show it as an independent game at Let's Play. So I'm going to have a booth at Let's Play, and I'm going to let you guys sign up for slots. And and you can come show your game and get experience showing your game in a public setting like that. So we're gonna help you walk through the process of publishing the game on Google Play, and if you want to show it at Let's Play, we're going to give you the opportunity to do that. So I'm hoping that that sounds good to all of you. The goal is to give you that experience of showing something and explaining your game, and we thought that would be a really good venue for it. So
Awesome.
that's really, I think we're all doing really, really well as far as, content. We've got 10 games. That's great. And, we've got people that are interested in helping out. We have 11.
After anything.
Oh, Vince, yeah, 11 games after Vince.
I think I have 12 actually.
And that's okay. So
What's that?
if you get done with what you're working on and you got another simple idea, this is just, it's a simple scope, so that we made sure that we had plenty of time for everybody to be able to get something done. Some of you have more time than others. If you want to do another game, feel free. If you want to help somebody else out with a game a lot, then help them out. If not, then help more people out. Like it's all about what you have time for and what you want to do. If you need guidance, we are meeting every Sunday at Create Now, and we'll be happy to play test what you've got, talk about concepts, all those kinds of things. So feel free to meet us at Create Now on Sundays to do the work sessions. If you can't be there in person, you can log into Slack and chat with us online, and we'll all have our Slack channels open so that we can, chime in and have a conversation there. We cannot stream from Create Now, unfortunately, so this isn't an option there. Just the internet's just not that good. But we always will be streaming this. So if you know anybody that wants to be involved here in person, let them know about how we do things, and if they want to be involved with that, we'll work with them as much as we can. All right, that's all I'm talking about. Anybody else got anything? Did you find a name for the Google thing?
Who's doing toy box?
Actually, I'm not sure if you knew this one.
Toy box, toy room?
We're doing toy room?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I can find out, it's a new, no.
I can still game console. I'll still double check.
Did you get a version number?
The newest one now is 1.4, I'm not even trying. I like that player.
Yeah, it was, what it did, they would like throw items in the round and stuff like that, you can grab things and do stuff, and they called it something.
That's not,
I forget what it's called.
the Google VR.
Oh,
5.6 is the key.
yeah, but there's always like F1.
5.60,
Okay.
F1. Or it doesn't matter, whatever.
Whatever,
Okay. I'm trying to be specific.
Yeah, yeah.
It needs to be.
That's right.
Yes. Use namespaces.
Use namespaces, and you said that the Google, or the API for Google that they need is something else?
It was, the current one's 1.4.
1.4?
I think I have 1.3. 1.3 is fine. I think I have 1.3 actually also.
Okay.
I think either one.
We all have controllers.
Your things, you just want to merge them all into one big project.
Yeah.
You don't want things separate.
I do not. Alright. You know, feel free to work amongst yourself then. We have the place as long as we need it. I will say if you guys are looking for co-work space, they have spots here for as low as $50 a month for students. And I think there are options for the VR package. I've got a pro version for $100 a month for pro users, whatever. And they have other packages here if you're not wanting the VR package. But just let me know if you're interested. If that's too much, talk to me if you are interested in like a co-work space here and it's just cost prohibitive, maybe we can work something out. But trying to get people more involved and working together. Co-work space is an ideal spot for people to be able to come in and like bounce ideas. Like this situation where we get to talk to each other can happen all the time. If you wanted to join the co-work space.
I might be able to help, I might be able to do something in the future, so possibly.
Okay. Great.
I'll let you know.
Well, I'm gonna shut off the stream.
Bye, everybody. Oh, Mr. DC.
So say bye to all your one watchers.
We have one back?
We have one back. Yep.
Who are you?
Bye.
I
Okay.
want to go be Olivia. Olivia, hold on.
Hi, Olivia. And it's you. If not, hi to whoever you
No,
are.
goodbye.
But goodbye. Yeah.
Okay, so my apologies.